My name is, for those who don't know, is Darnell Johnson, and I am a published author. And so this is what this workshop is going to be for, to get people who is interested in writing, not just poetry or just writing, to get them started and give them an education on what to do and what it's going to take and how to get it started. That's poetry is like I said, everyone will get to express their own way of putting things. You can either put it in a rhyme or you can put it in a story. What does poetry mean to you? To anybody?
Well, I'll just, anybody?
Anybody, start.
To me, poetry is just expressing how I'm feeling at a time, or sometimes I can just go and just look at nature, or just go somewhere like at the beach and just get quiet, and then, you know, the Lord just begin to give me words, and I write about insects and animals. It doesn't matter, just whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to me, poetry has always been a coping mechanism for hardships in my life. Whenever I go through something hard, I always want to create and express myself, creativity.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been my passion. And yeah, that's what poetry is to me. I actually make music as well.
Yeah.
Darnell, on the information that I have here, it says there are actually 7 forms of a poem. 1, a sonnet, 14-line love. 2, an elegy, a tribute to the deceased.
Yes.
3, a ballad, tells a story.
Ballad, yes.
4, an epic is a great adventure of some kind. 5, a limerick is 5 lines of humor, silliness.
Silliness, yes. Mm-hmm.
And number
So like
6 is an ode, and that's a tribute to nature, like she mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And 7, there is a kind of poem, according to this, that's called didactical, and that means that it's based on cultural language.
I write poetry, greeting cards. I do greeting cards. And my greeting cards is a form of poetry, because I have the scriptures, and then he'll give me something to go with the scriptures, and then...
All right, I have one that's called Life Within Time. And whenever I wrote this one about 5 years ago, it changed my life. Whenever I read that. So Life Within Time. Thoughts buried deep off in my mind. Emotions become like potions, liquid wasted into streaks of prickly lines. Enraged whilst taking the stage, spewing words with outcomes worse than a crime. Obsession of one's possessions, psychotic enough to make us rhyme. Wishing caused by missing to reach back and keep in touch with the hands of time, yet one's future cannot become the past, and the gifts of the present never seem to last. And in order to appreciate, one must initiate the acceptance of one's purpose. So no one's worthless, but what could be worth this? This life and time when no one's light can shine, because we're always being told to serve that or serve this. And it's easy to stand up for one's belief until the nerves hit, but think, belief, what does that truly mean? It's speaking loud and clear without shouting or screaming. It's willingness to stand alone while everyone else is teaming. It's more than just a thought and believing. It's actions with reactions that makes a statement. It's making your own path instead of following the pavement, because when the time comes, 6 feet under goes a body of one with the stone of engraving. Words with a name that will explain one's placement. Here lies a beloved father, mother, sister, brother with visions, family, and friends after that life ends. Or is that it? Does your soul also wait in that pit, or does life really begin? Is life really said and done, or is everyone else really dead but that one? I mean, think. Does time really blink, or does the distant stare down between the clock and the sink? Because what does a watch until arms are on the brink of moving to the next hour? Energetic movements of power so effortlessly. Time makes gestures to become measures that are set for the sleep. The sleep that most sheep will need guidance. A shepherd's teachings become lesson meanings that are timeless. And who is one when the time hits? The guided or the guider? The rider or the driver? Because one thing that will never happen, and that is time quits. Which leads me to wonder, am I wasting my time by letting my mind ponder?
And here is the poem. It's not very long.
Okay.
Our library shares a history with a deep community pride. It has a variety of assets that we don't want to hide. Our library consistently thrives with special projects and local drives. The books, the budgets, the patrons in sight, the staff and the volunteers managed just right. Our library serves by many gauges with interest areas for all ages. The meeting rooms and the artwork shown inspire our community in a positive tone. Our original library building now is in need of serious repair, with leaking roofs and crooked, crowded storage and repetitive maintenance care. So let's do the efficient planning for citizens to unite in a design for the future with facilities that delight. And
What I like about poetry is it's always been there to tell a story. And back, we just learned about the Renaissance era. And at the same time, when I was in history class, we were learning about political revolts and how because people were fleeing certain places for political or religious freedom,
Right.
they couldn't say what they wanted to say, so they had to paint it or they had to do it in a poem or something. And it was a shorter way and an easier way to get it out than a novel, because you couldn't
Right.
get things published back then
Sure.
at first, because the printing press was not created yet. So I can't is a sluggard, too lazy to work. From duty he shrinks, every task he will shirk. No bread on his board and no meal in his bag. His house is in ruin, his coat is a rag. And that's it. That's just saying if you can't work